Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a comic book review of Star Wars War of the Bounty, issue number 1, brought to you by Rated Comics. Let's get to it. This book, we start off in a classic Star Wars fashion. Who the heck would deal stir from one of the galaxy's most notoriously dangerous bounty hunters? This single act, this is going to change the game, man. So we open up with Han Solo and Carbonite, and in deep space, the Vermilion, where the Vermilion enters into this docking area, we see this hooded individual welcoming back Margot and Trinia. They said Solo could have stayed alive in there apparently for years. The hooded individual asks, is he conscious? What for? I don't know. The important thing is that it sounds like Solo will last in there long enough for their purposes. But of course, Trinia or Margot, I'm not sure which one's which, asked the hooded individual one more thing. We took him from the doctor's office, but the doctor was working for someone else in the matter. And the hooded individual's like, yes, I know. Boba Fett, the notoriously effective bounty hunter. Yes, I know. He's good, but he's only one man, and we're all this, you know? So what's he going to do? He's welcome to try. Meanwhile, in Nar Shaddaa, in a bar, Boba Fett's like, he's pissed, like someone's going to die. Bartender's like, well, what difference does that make from every other day, Fett? Is this someone special? They stole from me. It ain't credits. It's a bounty, and I went through a lot of trouble to get. So the bartender's like, so someone ripped you off. If they knew it was your bounty, either they're tough as hell or they're too stupid to know not to steal from me, bruh. Meanwhile, we see these two youngsters. They look like young bounty hunters, Tekrit and Alita, and they receive some kind of transmission, and that transmission is the bounty of Boba Fett. And Tekrit's like, man, this is one of the biggest bounties I've ever seen. This could set us up for life. Boba Fett says, my bounty was stolen from Doc Ragan's clinic. And that's a busy district, so someone must have saw something. That's his first clue on trying to solve all this. In the reflection glass, he noticed he's being snuck up behind. So Boba Fett, quick with the reflexes, turns around and blasts him with the rifle. Who's stupid enough to try to come at you from behind? Boba Fett just brushes it off like, hey, it could be money, it could be reputation, it could be anything. So he goes out and sends a transmission to JABBA the Hutt saying, hey, I got a bit delayed, but I'll deliver the package, which is Han Solo, as agreed, won't be a problem. Ends the message, goes into his ship. Boom! Gets exploded on, and Zukas ambushes him like, hey, you better stay down if you want to survive the next few minutes. Boba Fett's like, man, you booby trapping my ship? That's low. Zuka's like, hey, man, we're bounty hunters, you know, we live in the low. Now stand up because I have some questions for you. Boba Fett blasts off his rocket. Zukas moves out the way. And Boba Fett's like, hey, man, I thought you could predict the future. You should have seen that coming. And Zuka's response is, actually, Boba Fett, I did. That's why I called for backup. Say hello to Elohim. Robot, cricket-looking mofo comes up behind Boba Fett, and they're like, look, man, Boba Fett's like, there's no bad blood here. There's no bad blood here. You said you had some questions, well, ask away. So not only they told you went in your ship to look for Han Solo, we know you have him stashed somewhere, and tell us where you're keeping him. So Boba Fett feels disrespected, man. Not only you hurt my ship, you went inside? Boba Fett's like, bro, that belonged to my dad, and how dare you? So he blasts off in his rocket, and the ship pistols blast off against Zukas and his partner. Zukas is hanging on the edge, and right before Boba Fett comes up to him like, hey, man, you about to pay for this. He begs, saying, no, please, you know, I will tell you your future. Everything I see is in red, and the sea of red you're drowning in. He's like, not interested, get out of here, you know. So he takes Cricket Man's head, Elohim's head, who's all machine anyway, plugs him into his ship to get information out of him. And it turns out the information transmitting from his head to Boba Fett is a bounty was placed on him, and the contract's open to anyone and anyone. So Boba Fett's like, who's crazy enough? Everyone in the galaxy knows not to come after me. Now that everyone's in the galaxy will come after me, who did this? Who set this bounty on him? So right before he can announce who the client is, Boba Fett takes his ship to TATOOINE, the place of JABBA the Hutt, and he is pissed. So he goes up to Bib Fortuna, who's like a diplomat but a snake at the same time. Like, hey man, there's no need for hostilities. You know, just tell us what you want. We can end this with no gunfight, no harm, no foul. It doesn't have to be. This does not have to lead to violence. And Boba Fett's like, wrong, baby. Boom, boom. Like, unleashes an attack on the brother. Bib Fortuna's like, look, Jabba will feed you to the Rancor, or worse, he will give you to the Sarlacc in the pit of Carcoon, where you'll be digested. Look, man, I ain't trying to hear all that. I just want information. JABBA put a bounty on me, not Solo. Why? That's what Boba Fett wants to know. So Bib Fortuna tells him you were taking too long, and we thought you sold Solo to somewhere else. And Boba Fett's like, no, he was stolen from me. Where is JABBA the Hutt? I need to clear this up now. Meanwhile, we see JABBA the Hutt in his ship having a dialogue about the new Crimson Tide, emergence. And I'll let you guys read this. It's just pretty much in a nutshell saying, hey, what if they're a threat? If they are a threat, we'll be ready for them. But also it sets up for further storylines down the line. JABBA got an invitation. That's where Boba Fett tells Bib Fortuna, who stole Solo from me? So now JABBA the Hutt's reinforcements come up, and Boba Fett gets into a true gangster moment, like, all right, all of you want to live, right? But I promise, if you fight me, some of you will die, maybe most of you die, but you'll be dying for him. That doesn't seem fair. So realize, like, we're gonna die. We ain't dying for this brother right here. So all these other reinforcements get out the way, and Boba Fett says, I want to see this invitation. In the hologram display, we see the hooded figure from before saying, JABBA, most of the exalted of all Hutts are invited to be present alongside representatives of the great galactic power to witness the return of the Crimson Dawn. We do not wish to antagonize or cause friction or upset existing arrangements. We only wish to engage with galactic society and do business to prosper. You will find that we can be a very useful organization, and as a sign of goodwill, the particular prize is a carbonated Han Solo. This is where Boba Fett's like, so Crimson Dawn is back and stole Solo out from underneath me to impress JABBA? Bib Fortuna's like, it appears so. Bubba's like, nah, this ain't gonna happen. What you're gonna do is you're gonna repair my ship, and then I'm flying to Jakara and getting my property back. But Bib Fortuna's like, even if Crimson Dawn is diminished in its current state, you are only still one man. And Boba Fett's like, no, I'm Boba Fett. I said at the beginning of all this, someone was going to die. Now I know who. Gotta, leave some meat on the bone here. But the reason why Han Solo is important, because whether you love, the hooded figure says whether you love him or hate him or need him, you owe him or you owed by him, Han Solo unites the galaxy. And that's exactly what we need right now. And as promised, I gotta leave some meat on the bone. And at the end of the book, it does show the reveal of who the hooded figure is. As I gotta say, I am interested and intrigued to see where this comic book issue goes. With that being said, Star Wars, War of the Bounty Hunter, issue number 1. Comment below, let us know what you thought of the comic. If you haven't read the comic, go ahead and get your comic from RatedComics.com, link in description. Yes, this comic is a perfect 10 in my opinion, buy it. If you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do for more comic book reviews and comic book related content. It'll help support the channel. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.